Hello everybody, it's Ruth here, Artful Stampin'. So welcome to this video. This is a live video, so if you've never kind of come across one of these before, this is where I kind of hop onto YouTube and create a video and chat to anybody that comes on live with me, and it's really good fun. Now, it does mean, however, that what I'm doing is kind of on the spur of the moment. This video might be quite long, so what I'm going to aim to do is at the end of the video, once it's all gone onto YouTube, is I will try and do a summary of what the techniques that I've played with throughout the video, and then put in the description below, put a kind of list of the times in which I played with different things, so that you don't have to waste your time kind of watching the whole lot if there's just one particular thing that you're interested in. Now, the other thing that you can do also is, if you're wanting to watch it all, but yet you haven't got the time to watch it, sit for an hour or so, depending how long this video ends up being, you can actually watch it quite fast. If you go to the settings, you can watch it on like double play or whatever. So that's kind of a really fun thing to do. So I'm just setting up another device so that I can read your comments here without having to kind of keep standing up and looking at my camera. And do say hello as you come on. Look, if you're coming on to say hello and you're watching this live, and if you're watching this on the replay, please do comment and ask any questions if you've got any. I'll be happy to answer them. So it's bank holiday here in the UK, and I've just spent the day at the beach with my family and met up with some friends, and we went for a lovely walk and got to see some animals. Would you believe it? We saw lions in Wales. There's an animalarium near the beach in Wales that has a lion, and well, a lady lion and a male lion. So that was quite interesting, and some very friendly sheep we met. Anyway, something I've been wanting to have a go at doing for a while now is two things: is have a play with the project kit that comes at Stampin' Up, because there are some really lovely laser cut pieces that I'm thinking we could use for stenciling. So okay, so that's one thing. Right, so hi people who've come on to watch. There's Jenny, Bev and Janice. Hi everybody. The other thing I've been looking at and I've considered purchasing is a Gelli Plate, and I haven't bitten the bullet just yet because there's so many gorgeous Stampin' Up things to play with that I haven't. However, I have been playing with my silicone mat and I'd like to do more with it. So I have got some non-Stampin' Up product that I'm going to be trying to mix with Stampin' Up product and just see what happens. So this is the sort of thing that I do in my craft room from time to time. I just go, oh, let's see if this works. So this is kind of me doing this in front of you because I thought it might be nice just to have a bit of a social time with you guys, and for you just to see my process. So I'm just going to go for it and see what happens. So here I've got some white acrylic paint. I haven't even got my cardstock ready, but never mind. And I've got a brayer. Now, Stampin' Up used to sell these brayers a while back. They don't anymore. However, you can pick them up. I think I've put a little bit too much paint on here, but never mind. You know, it's all a bit of a process. And I did want to kind of figure out whether or not our Brushos would work, or what would happen if I used Brushos on acrylic paint and the silicone mat. So here we go. Let's see what happens. So this is the a bit of blue going on there. And here's a little bit of yellow. And I'm not really thinking about it too much. I'm kind of just going for it. And then I think I might spritz it with some water. Let's see what happens when I do that. And of course that activates the Brushos, which it loves, doesn't it? And then, oh, maybe activate that a little bit more. Oh, there we go. Let's see what happens there. Oh, look at that. Can you see all that swirling and whirling? I'll just come in. Oh, I'm sorry about the lighting. The lighting is a little bit hard. Right, let me just grab some cardstock. I've actually just got some Stampin' Up Whisper White here. And then I am going to place one of these stencils from the kit over the top of there. And is there another one? Oh, actually, I've got this. This is what all the these gorgeous glittery leaves come out of. But look what you're left with. You're left with these this stuff here. So you know what? I'm going to place that there before putting my cardstock over the top, and I'm just going to rub it and see what happens. Right, hi, who's that? Tarita, hello from Oregon. Judith McPherson, hi Judith from New Zealand. Rebecca Bullock from Texas, and hello, Amazing Me from Austria. Okay, so, right. So, for those of you who've just joined me, I put acrylic paint, then Brushos, then put some kind of stencil-y type stuff over the top, and I have got no idea what is about to happen. So, you're doing this with me, guys. You're helping me along this process. Okay, I'm just going to have a little sneak peek. Okay, yeah, I think we're safe to go. Okay, right. Well, I think I probably put a little bit too much water, but I still quite like the effect. Let's see if we can do that again. But this time, I'm going to use much less water. I've got my little rag here, so I'm just going to be very gentle with this stencil because these stencils are not waterproof. Actually, I really like what's happened to that. That's quite fun, isn't it? Let's just try and dry it off a little bit here. I know what, I've got some tissue here. So this is just normal toilet tissue, I'm afraid, guys. But I'm just going to dry off this stencil and see what happens. Nice, love it. Oh, good. Okay, guys. Right. So that has come out really lovely. I quite like that. And then we've got this piece here that we can take off, and that can be dried. And ooh, that's quite interesting. That's got some of the paint on it now. Now I'm going to leave that because what I've seen Gelli Plate people do, who've got them, is they then take a second print from this. Now, if you're watching my friend Jodie in America, she's really into her Gelli Plate, and I've watched some of her broadcasts where she's used it, and so this is partly inspired by her and various other people that I've been stalking on YouTube to see how to do this kind of thing. So let's just see what happens. Okay, so that's quite fun. I like what's happened with the, sorry about the lighting. Anyway, that's fun, isn't it? We can always use that for a background for something. Now, I'm going to clear this off because I think I put too much, I ended up putting too much water on that, and I didn't mean to do that. I don't want to do that. Okay, so that is just some white acrylic. And I'm just going to, oh, let's try a different colour this time. Let's try a bit of the red Brushos. And this time, oh, I wonder if I put a little bit more acrylic, I wonder if that will activate. Oh, look at that. That's fun, isn't it? Oh, so that gets activated by the acrylic paint. Oh, excuse me. Right. What's this colour? That's the oh, I did that last time with the orange, didn't I? Wasn't sure about that, but anyway. Right, so this time I'll just, I know what, I'm going to just move some of that Brushos around. Just a little bit of a spritz this time, not too much. You know what, I'm just going to do some mixing into that. See what happens. It's all a kind of see what happens kind of process, okay? Oops, a bit of tissue on that. Didn't mean to put tissue on there. that. Another bit of cardstock. See what happens. Got a bit of squishy bit of paint to the side. There. Right. Ooh. Okay. So I'm going to take that off. Ooh, that leaves an interesting pattern. And oh, look at that. Ooh. Right. Let's see what happens when I put that down now. Got a bit too much paint going on here. You can sprinkle the brush over, then spray the paint on it. Ooh, okay. That's a good idea, Jenny. Yeah, I was thinking also of trying with our re-inkers and seeing what happens, how it reacts to acrylic paint. Oh, I like that. Look, we've got the negative. Actually, I think that is cool. I quite like that. Okay, right. Let's have a look at what happened to this. That's fun, isn't it? So this is a really fun way to kind of pimp up your pieces that you get with the project kit. So this is the Incredible Like You project kit, and it's available at the moment in the Spring Summer catalogue, which is going to be ending on the 3rd of June. So if you like the look of it, I mean, you can make all these cards, but I am now kind of just... I made one of the cards today, actually. I was with, as I said, I was with some friends today, and I made one of those, and that is directly from the kit. But I've always wanted to kind of like have a bit more of a play and see what happens. Right, so I'm going to set that aside. I'm running out of places to put things. Right, set that aside for a moment. And we've got this piece here. That's still drying. So that's really beautiful, isn't it? Quite like that. I've also got this fun thing here. I'm just going to carry on taking these out. So this is interesting, kind of seeing how we can use the negative pieces from these kits once you've taken all the pieces that you want out, because that's quite nice, isn't it? Right. You know what? I've still got a little bit of paint on here, so I'm going to just stick that on. Now I did have, I have got a little re-inker here, but I want something a bit bolder, so I'm going to grab some other colours. I've got some of the re-inkers here. A little bit of lovely lipstick. Lipstick on your collar. That was a song, wasn't it? Way back when. Oh, everything's starting to get very sticky with the acrylic, so I think I'm going to have to wash things off soon. Okay, so you have to be careful you don't over mix, because otherwise it's going to turn into a bit of a spludgy mess. There we go. Right. Let's see what happens if I put that down. Actually, I might just do it that way. Now, I'm sure you would also get slightly different results depending on what type of card you use. So this is the Stampin' Up, the standard cardstock that is designed for stamping onto, which it does a fabulous job. I've not as yet found a better cardstock as a crafter, so this is me speaking as a crafter as opposed to Stampin' Up demonstrator, that is as good, that you can get such fine results with. And sometimes when I'm doing mixed media stuff, oh, That's interesting. Nothing's transferred. I don't know if it's too dry or it's not. It's just not coming through. Let's see if I activate it a bit more. That was funny. That's me pressing it. And you know what? I might just give my sprayer a bit of a quick clean. Connie Francis. Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, I'll have to Google that one. I just remember it. Oh, I think it was in a program years ago. Oh, there we go. So not wanting to do much on that, so let's just go again and get rid of that all. So the whole point of this process, if you're going to have a go on it with this, is just not you can never replicate. You just kind of go with it and see what happens. I quite like what's left on there actually, because it's all about having fun and playing with the textures and seeing what happens. Because yeah, that is the beauty of this kind of thing. That you don't know what's going to happen, and I really like that. Yeah. Okay. Right. Now the other thing I have been seeing is using a Gelli Plate and using made up Brushos inks and sprinkling them on. But I want to experiment with the different types of cardstock that we do and see the different results. So bear with me a second while I just clean all this up. So this silicone sheet is available from Stampin' Up. I think it's about £5.50. It's not a huge price, and it's useful for protecting your surface, particularly if you're doing some hot gluing, and it also saves your fingers. But it is a really good little surface to have an experiment with this type of thing. Right, so I have to the side here a little palette, and I'm going to just pop some brushes in. Excuse the noise, sorry about that. Do some blue there. I might need to just make my hooves a little bit bigger. So the Brushos came out, oh, now did they come out last year or the year before? I can't remember now. But we are saying goodbye to these this year. But we do have some new product that I believe is similar. I've not used them yet. I've just seen them in the catalogue. So I'm looking forward to having a play with the new product when it comes out. Sorry about this, guys. I just need to make my hole a little bit bigger. You have to get the balance between getting it big enough but not so big that it goes everywhere. Right, that's it. And I'm just going to spray some, there we go, water into there. And now what I saw this lady do, she got quite a big brush. Let's see if I can find one. I might use my aqua painter. If I can find, oh, here's one. Okay. And she kind of just, she sprinkled Brushos on like that. Actually, she did whitewash her. This is just water in this. Remind me not to drink from that. She did clean her brush off. So I believe I saw I can't remember the name of the lady who did it. It was someone who does stuff for Clarity stamps. I was watching her on YouTube the other day, and I don't know, they seem to sell some particular cardstock, but I'm going to just use the Stampin' Up one and see what happens, guys. I'm just going to place that on there. Now, did she spritz? I can't remember if she spritzed or not. Anyway, she seemed to do this. We'll see what happens and then we'll adjust as needed. Okay, so that makes a kind of splotchy-watchy thing. Now, I can't remember if she sprayed. Okay, let's try that again. Be interesting to actually see what this is like with... No, it wasn't Barbara Gray. It was... Or was it Lavinia stamps? Sorry, I'm taking Clarity Stamps' name in vain. It might have been Lavinia stamps. She does... Excuse me, I'm just going to grab some paper. She does lots of fairy stuff. Right, so this is a piece of our shimmer white. So I'm just going to pop that on and do that. And you'll see the difference between... Okay, so that's slightly different. Not quite the... Alright, you know what, I'm not even going to bother doing the watercolour because I think I know what's going to happen. But what I'm going to try and do is add some more... You know what, I'm just going to do some splotches now. But she definitely was using a Gelli Plate and I'm not. So... Oh, let's get this... Right, so this is my piece of Stampin' Up normal cardstock. Okay, so that's a bit more splotchier. Let's start again. Green, bit of blue. Right, and then, oh my goodness, everything that, look, this is all getting all splotched on. Some water. And this time I'm going to use some of the Stampin' Up cardstock, no, watercolour paper. Now again, this is retiring in this format. It's retiring, and I believe it's because they're bringing out a slightly different watercolour paper. Okay, so that's just like muted and fun. Not quite what she came out with, but I'm not sure if that's because I'm doing something a bit different. Oh, well, and I'm not using a Gelli Plate, so it could be that. Okay, I wonder what about making slightly bigger splotches. No, I am slightly mixing the colours now. Barbara Gray's good, does some good in. Carolyn, who? I think we've done a typo. Carolyn. Right. Oh, shimmer. This is shimmer stuff. Right. I think part of it is the key is to give it... Oh, yes. I have seen videos about how to make your own Gelli Plate. Yeah. And I kind of go between going, oh, I should get a Gelli Plate, and then going, no, I won't get a Gelli Plate. Then, oh, I could make a Gelli Plate. Then, no, we've got the silicone mat. So this is me kind of like getting down to my most frugal level and going, I've already got a silicone mat. I've already got a spritzer. I've already got inks. Let's see what they do. To be quite honest. I'm like, do I really want to spend out on a Gelli Plate? I quite like that. Oh yeah. It's not super vibrant, but then I think that's because I'm muting it all down. I'm muting these Brushos down. So what about putting some colour on? So you've got a colour in the background. Then give it a spritz. Then add some extra Brushos. Yeah? Ooh, right. Let that just do its thing for a moment. And I think that's the other thing is when we're working kind of fast like this, you kind of have to like be a little bit patient with the Brushos just to see what's going to happen. Right, now I am going to try with some watercolour paper this time. I'm so tempted to give that another spritz though, because I can see that that is kind of all drying out. Shall I or shan't I? I'm just going to go for it. See what happens. Ooh, you can mix re-inker with gesso, says Jenny. Oh, I have gesso, I think, somewhere. Oh, okay. I didn't need to put more water, but it's not as vibrant as I thought it would be. Maybe it's because I need to give this a bit of a clean. Okay, let's start again. Let's start afresh. Now, ages ago on one of my videos somewhere, I think I did a... I don't see, sometimes I forget whether or not I filmed them and if I put them up or not. I did a kind of just, let's just play with the Brushos type thing. Let's just do that now so that we can be reminded how amazing these are. Maybe just one spritz. There we go. So this is back to just plain old Whisper White cardstock. Oh, I don't know how that turned out. Just wanted to get rid of that line. See, that's beautiful and vibrant, isn't it? Really vibrant. Ooh, clear gloss medium as well. Okay. Now I have seen someone put gesso. Let me see if I can find my gesso actually. Here we go. Right. Now the other thing I've seen someone do is they put gesso through a stencil. What if one of these stencils is dry enough now? I need to do that. Oh, can I open it? Oh, there we go. Right, does my brush need to be clean for this? Cleanish. Right, let's just have a play with just applying some gesso through a stencil. So this is normal white gesso that you can get from art supply shops. And I'm using a stencil from the Incredible Like You kit. Okay. Ooh, 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 ooh. It's still a bit damp. I didn't want to come off that. Never mind. Okay, I'm just going to set that aside for a minute for that to dry. And then, did you say you could mix? I wonder what gesso and Brushos is like. instead of the acrylic. Let's see what happens. I wonder if it will behave like acrylic. Do you think I need to activate it with water? Ooh, now what if I then go... Now, did this work last time? I can't remember. Put that down. Put that over the top. I'm not sure if that's going to seep through. It didn't do it with the glitter, did it? Try mixing it before putting it on the plate. Yes, Jen, that's a good idea. No, look, that didn't work. Okay. You know what? I'm just going to lift that off though. And put that back down. Quite fun. That's got some sprinkly bits on it, hasn't it? Oh, that's nice. It's getting a bit sticky there, but look. That's quite delicate. I really like that. The gesso seems to be much finer than the acrylic. Did that make sense? That's really nice. Okay, let's try do that again. Put a little bit more. Oh, I know what. Put a bit of water down first. Right, let's get some gesso. Spludge. Right, so this has still got some Brushos from last time. Ooh. Oh, this is so therapeutic. Just doing this. I could make one of those ASMR videos, couldn't I? Oh, look. Oh, something in there. That's so satisfying. Right. Green. Oh, now what about if I just got some of this is just a bit of green. So this is already mixed. I just do some sprinkling. Oh, my daughter's going to kill me. I've got ink, or I've got splatters on her tablet. Oh, that moved. Oh well. It's a bit slippier. So Jenny says most acrylics have a bit of a gloss to it that gesso doesn't. I believe gesso is acrylic paint without the colourant. Okay. So if you're watching this on the replay, I think you do have an option where you can view all the live chat comments, because you're probably thinking, why is Ruth talking to somebody? Or who's Ruth talking to? That's because this is a live video and People are chatting to me. Okay, that's interesting. It's actually, this paper is tearing. Can you see that? It's leaving some paper behind. So where it got a bit too sticky, sorry, I'll show you that. It's actually torn the paper. I like some of this. Maybe it wasn't moist enough. Brought the paper up again. Never mind. Okay. Let's have a clean. Let's have a clean up. Now the one thing a silicone mat is definitely good for is a kind of watery, watercolour type backgrounds. So it might be fun just to do something without acrylic paint and the gesso and just focus on kind of creating those lovely inky backgrounds, and not using the silicone plate as a like a jelly plate. So I'm just going to wet this down, because I don't want this to all dry solid on here, so I'm just going to get rid of that. Ooh, I'm making a nice mess here. I'm going to have to find another rag. I'm running out of dry rag here. Oh, there's one. Okay. These rags are actually left over from when my babies are not so much babies anymore, but they used to wear cloth nappies, and these are really great if you have kids, or actually just generally great around the house actually. So it's flannel or terry toweling one side and it's fleece the other, and I used to make my own reusable baby wipes, so that's what those come from. And so I still have a few left over and I just use them around the house and in my craft room to clean up. Just chuck them in the wash and then come back up. Great. So just wipe that down. Okay, so if I pop this stuff to one side for a moment, I might, if this stuff all dries in the next few minutes, I think I might start doing some collage-y type things with you. So I'm just going to spread this stuff out on my floor to let it dry. Okay. These are the cards that come with the kit. I'm wondering if it would be interesting to grungy these up a little bit, but they already are quite colourful, so probably. Oh, there are these pieces though. That might be quite fun to grungy up a bit. If I started making a card here. Actually, that meant to be stuck onto there, but it doesn't seem to stick so well. But I could grungy that up, couldn't I? What else have I got in this kit? Oh, there's all the envelopes. Alright, we'll leave that for now. Have you done reverse stamping on your silicone mat? Yes, where you stamp something and then you get the reverse. Yes, that's good fun, isn't it? Right, so normal kind of watercolour, if you like that technique where you end up with a little bit of a white, not white, if you have white cardstock with a little bit of a kind of watercolour-y background to it, then this is quite a good technique. So if I just get my brush, and I've got some of this Brushos paint left over, so it's just fun just to have a little bit of a splotch, just not think about it too much. Okay. And there we go. Okay, I know that's really simple, but that is what you can use it for. Because if you were to kind of go direct to paper, actually we could try it. See if I can do, I don't think I can replicate that direct to paper because the ink kind of like sets in, but we'll just see if I can do it. Yeah, you kind of end up with these strokes. I don't know if that will dry out, we'll see. And what's fun is that you can do some splatters across there. That's quite fun, isn't it? So these are just like great to have as a background for a card. You could just put, you know, some florals and you could put a sentiment, you can, you know, change all that up. But yeah, you can definitely see there's a bit of a difference between just doing the paint stroking to just doing it onto the mat and then letting it squish, because I think that process, yeah, just changes it slightly. The water will break down the paper too if you overwork it or use too much water. Yes, you're quite right. And again, depending what paper you're using, that will happen. So because this is a standard Stampin' Up paper, it's very porous. So that's why it is quite fun to play with the shimmer white cardstock, because it seems to have a little bit more of a, I don't know, the water tends to sit on it a little bit more rather than soaking in. Right, trimmer. Where's my trimmer? It was here. I'm going to grab that and put it down. Okay, has anyone else got any little suggestions for me to have a play with? What am I doing? I'm trying to think how I should cut this up. I don't want to do it into fours. Do it into threes there. There we go. I shall just use the whole length of it and see what happens. Right, the other thing you can do is just put your re-inkers direct onto the silicone mat. Now, my downline was with me this week and she was having a play with this, and she put her results on her blog. So if you're able to go over to Rejoice About Stamping, it's and then Joyce, Joyce, about Rejoice About Stamping.blogspot. I was going Rejoice About Blanking. She put some of her results on her blog, which are really fun. So this is Grapefruit Grove, and now I'm putting a little bit of the pineapple punch there. Spritz. And then just going to pick that up with, so this is the shimmer white card. Just going to see. Okay, that's interesting. Where there's actual clumps of ink, it's left blobs. So maybe spritz first. Let's see what happens then. Mix a little gesso with re-inker before putting it on the mat. Ah, okay. I'll do that in a second, Jenny. Okay, so to break down these blobs of colour, I'm just going to spray into that and kind of move, try not have such a concentrated area of colour, because I don't like those blobs. That's a little bit better. Okay, you just get this really beautiful kind of like wishy-washy effect across the page or across the cardstock. That's lovely. I like that. I'm happier with that than I am that. That's just me. Okay, so Jenny says mix a little gesso with re-inker before putting it on the mat. So then do you want, shall I spritz it as well? So I'm going to use the same colours. I'm going to use a bit of a blob of pineapple punch and a blob of, no, just spray the mixture onto the mat. Okay, I'll try that. I'm going to mix the yellow first because it's lighter. Actually, it might be fun just to paint it on. Okay, and then I'm going to mix the grapefruit grove as well. Okay. Make sure the ink is mixed with the gesso well. Oh, right. I think it was, Jenny. Okay, now what? Do you think I should just see what happens if I put that directly onto paper? Brayer it, she says. Oh, you mean brayer this, or put the paper on and brayer? Brayer the paint, then put the paper. Okay. So why do you think brayering makes such a difference, I wonder? Oh. Okay. Oh, it thins it. Ah. Okay, I think she's done this before. She needs to do a video. Jenny, you need to do a video on this. Okay, so you get much more smooth finish. That is so smooth. Okay, so this time I'm going to have a go doing that again. But I think I'll try and find a stencil or something that I can do with it. Let's see what happens. So it needs to thin it out. Okay, got you. Let's try with lovely lipstick. Where's Blueberry Bushel gone? Oh, here it is. I'll mix a bit of blue in there. Okay. Now I'm wondering whether now to pop that over the top. I know I'm not probably going to get an impression from that, but I'm just going to put that over the top to lift. Oh, I'm just going to, you know what, I'm going to reuse that because this was kind of my tester piece. It doesn't matter if I put that over the top of that. then if I take that off, put that over that. Oh no, this happened before. The paper rips a little bit, but not as much as it did last time. Oh, cool. That's quite fun. Okay, that's a good... Okay, I can go and get some computer paper and see if that'll work. I like that. Now, why is it sticking? That's interesting, isn't it? Why is it deciding to stick? Right, I just put tiny weeny spots then. I'm going to get some computer paper. Just bear with. Okay, I've got one more of these. Oops. I don't know whether I need to put more gesso on that. I'm just going to try out a bit here. Oh no, it comes off. Okay. Oh, come on. Put that down. Yes, you're right. Yeah, it will disintegrate. Yeah, no, it's still not. It's not coming through. But we take that off. Yeah, it's not as. I think it's dried out too much. But anyway, we'll just try and get that print off and see what happens. Nope, too dry now. It's nice on there though. You know what, I know you say you shouldn't use it on wet, but I am going to. Partly because I'm curious and also I need to clean it. Just a bit of a mess. Yeah, it could be that, yeah. I mean, it's obviously not working the same way as a Gelli Plate works, which is fine. You know, I'm quite happy to play with what I have rather than what I don't have. So, right, I was just going to get rid of one of these layers because it's not... Well, see, this is quite pretty, isn't it? I quite like that. What did I use that for? You put a layer of paint... Oh, yes. Yeah, I've seen that. I think I saw Barbara Gray do that. Yeah, you can put sort of layers and layers and layers, can't you, on the silicone, on the Gelli Plate, and then you put the white over the top, and that lifts everything back off again, doesn't it? Right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to Oh, let's get some more gesso. I'm going to get rid of this paint on here. I've got no idea what this is going to do. Put that gesso down like that. And I'm just going to get rid of, so this is all the ink. Nope, it's not wanting to come off. Okay. Nope, doesn't want to come off. Okay, let's just do this. Yellow, orange, red, blue, green. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, the colour that you put down first is what is going to show. Right, so I want a bit more intense colour, so I'm just going to go for it a bit more with the Brushos. Whew, come on. I think I'm running out. Finally running out of these Brushos. I've used them so much. They're great for kids' workshops, they love them. Right, I'm going to just do some like mark making. Into that. Sorry, I've gone very quiet. I'm just enjoying the process, guys. Just seeing what happens. Okay, so that's the gesso with the Brushos mixed in with it. Now, am I supposed to... Yes, you could write in it. You're quite right. So am I meant to just let that go a little bit dry before putting the white gesso over the top? Because I think if I put the white gesso on that now, it would just obliterate the pattern. So is that meant to be just left to dry a bit? Like, could I speed up the process, or am I just to leave it? I'm not going to do anything until you tell me, Jenny. Meanwhile, I know, but am I meant to put white over that? Or just pull it? Because it's still wet. I'm just going to go for it then. See, that's sticking as well. I like it, but it is, I don't know why it's sticking. Okay, who's still watching? I've got 8 people still watching. 8 people still with me. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. Oh, you guys are awesome. It literally is watching paint dry, everybody. Who'd have thought that on a Saturday evening? Not Saturday, Monday. Wrong day. Monday, you are watching paint dry, and then me painting it, and then me getting a print from it. There's a first. Okay, I'm not going to let... See, look, I didn't let that dry for as long. I just went for it. That's kind of fun. Looks like the sea. Hi, Freedom Deep. How are you? Okay. I think I've had enough playing now. Would you believe? I want to start making something with all my bits and pieces. So you know what? I think I'm going to just quickly run and put this in my kitchen sink. And that's okay. Let it dry now and add paint if you want. What, to this? No, you mean what I've done with that? Okay, I'm going to let you stare at that for a moment while I just go and run put this in my kitchen sink, and then I'll be back again. Just bear with. Okay, right. I took the opportunity to wash my hands a little bit as well. Okay, right. So, I'm just going to put some of these re-inkers away. I'm a bit paranoid about these re-inkers. The lid's coming off them, so I always put them back very tight. By the way, these storage cases from Stampin' Up are fabulous for our re-inkers. Absolutely brilliant. I'll put a little label on them so I know what year they've come from. So now I thought it'd be quite fun just to do some sticking. Oh, that's your name, Angie. Hello, Angie. Yes, I'm very well, thank you. I spent a lovely day a lot of the time outside. A bit of walking, looking at some animals today. And what else did we do? Had a very nice lamb curry. So the friends that we went to visit, my friend's husband's a chef, so he always cooks beautiful food. I'm just grabbing all the bits that were on my floor. I think that's everything. Okay, so I really love that. Now the only problem is remembering what I did. I think that was the gesso with the Brushos. The gesso definitely seemed to work better than the acrylic paint, I think. This was the acrylic paint with Brushos and then water spritzed. And the acrylic paint seems to be thicker, whereas the gesso has a much more fine finish. It's almost like porcelain compared to that. I really liked how that turned out. That's super fun. We could pair that up together, couldn't we? That would be nice. This was just Brushos and water. That was a this was the gesso that we did. Now I wanted to maybe do some brushing over the top. Oh, I've just found these pieces as well. So these were the other things that we did. I wanted to brush some ink directly over the top of this and see what happens. So I've just got a little brush here. Let's start with a light-ish colour to start off with. So here I've got some Coastal Cabana. And see what effect the gesso had on that. Don't seem to be making a huge amount of difference. Right, let's try it with a darker colour. What's this? Pretty Peacock. This is one of the newer colours. You know what, I'm going to have to get a new piece of grid paper. This is, everything's sticking. Okay, try some of this. There's definitely a difference. Let's try really... ooh. Putting it on thick. So, just a reminder, what we did before was the gessoed area is these little squares, and the non-gessoed area is coming out darker. So Jenny's saying usually the gessoed area will be lighter because the paper will grab more colour than the gesso. Yes, you're quite right. And I think that is what I've seen when I've seen people use this technique. Right, let's try a bit of olive. Sorry, I don't know why I said it that way. Old olive. And yeah, if you don't have gesso, but you have some of the Stampin' Up texture paste stuff, that's quite fun to play with stenciling. Just got some garden green. Yeah, I think I'll be watching some Jennifer Maguire videos as well. She's very inspirational with the old techniques and things, isn't she? Okay, that's fun. Now I'm thinking scrapbook layouts, guys. I've not done scrapbooking for ages, and I was just thinking I've got some lovely photos that I took today from our little jaunt, and I'm wondering if I just create some scrapbook pages ready for scrapbooking. That would be fun, wouldn't it? I could probably use the texture paste on the silicone matte like Gesso too. Yes, I think I have tried that once. Okay, so let's get some Whisper White. I've got some Whisper White 12 by 12 here. Oh my goodness, I've been going over an hour. Oh my word. Right, are you guys still with me? You guys are so kind. Sticking with me. Right, I'd like to do some flickering on here. So the other way to create a little bit of splatter, I believe, is through using an acrylic block. And I'm thinking that if you just put a bit of ink, she says a bit of ink, can't actually see a lot of it, but anyway. Oh, thank you, Jenny. I'm going to grab a bit of old grid paper. I have a pile of like grid paper that has been used in my workshops, but I can't bear to throw it away, so I keep it for moments like this where I'm like experimenting. Right, so I've just spritzed that with a bit of water. And the idea is that you get a clean paintbrush. I'm not sure how clean this is. We'll see. Don't know if this is going to work. And then you do that. Oh, it works. I don't know if you guys can see this. It's really quite faint. But it is going on. It's very, very delicate splats. Very, very, very delicate. More delicate than using a spritzer, I'd say. Oh, right, okay. I know, if I do it in the Pretty Peacock, Janice is watching me while she's prepping her gin class. Oh, good for you, Janice. Do you prefer Janice or Janice? Oh, there we go, look. Pretty Peacock is a bit darker. You can probably see that a bit better now. Right, move that one out the way for a second. Get some more Pretty Peacock on here. There we go. Ta-da! Background done. Right, oops. There we go. It's a bit easier, you can see what I'm doing now. Right, cleaning off my block. So sorry about the dark, the shadow. I don't know whether to go and switch my overhead light off, see if that'll get rid of it. Is that better? Right, so I want the two layouts to look similar, or the two sheets rather, so I want to, whatever I use on one, I want to kind of use on the other. I do like how that turned out. I also like how this turned out. Yeah, I'm just going to give that a little bit of a fold because I want that to tear in a straight line. There we go. So that's a little tip. If you do want something to fold in a straight line, just give it a... Sorry, yeah. If you want something to tear in a straight line, give it a fold. Sorry, it's getting to the end of the day and my mouth and my brain are not quite connecting. But this is fun. Even these bits can be used for things. So I'm going to tear that. That can be used for something. That can be used for something. I like this sort of leafy thing going on here. Yeah, I would recommend tearing as opposed to cutting. When you're trying to create something that feels a little bit more organic, just tear it, because sometimes you end up tearing something and you go, oops, I didn't mean to do that. But actually it just, it adds to the spontaneity of what you're creating. That's a posh way of saying wing it. Because that's what I'm doing right now. Just winging it. Okay. I do like some of these oranges and stuff. Right, what else have I got up here? See, I think these tones are a bit too muted for what I'm creating. That might work. Oh, could use some of that. Oh, this is still drying a bit, but could use some of that. Yeah, that's too muted. Yeah, I think all these more muted tones I'll use for something else. That's fun, isn't it? Packages with that. Right, set that aside. Set that aside. Yeah, all these, right, all that I'm going to set. Yeah, I'll set that aside, otherwise it's too much. Too much. Not quite like that. Oops, let's go that. Right, so because I want to have an idea of what my matting, of where my photo is going to go, if I just cut up a couple of these, what have I got, a yellow and a green. Not too bright, let's have a look. No, that's okay. Really love these papers. Oh, thank you. I know, it's fabulous to think I've done it all by myself. Yeah, just okay, I'm going to cut this down to, oops, 5.5. 5.5 by 4, I think. So I can try, when I print out my photos, I'll try and make sure that I do it to that size. So if I'll have 2 of those and 2 of these. So the reason I'm doing this is so that I've got some idea of what I'm kind of designing. Oops. Actually, I might even do a, what would that be? I might even do a couple that are that size as well. Oh, actually, I might. Oh, decisions. I'll see how it goes. Right, so we've got those 2 and those 2. 4, rather. Right, so if I just focus on one at a time, but have the others nearby. So if you have a kind of idea of where you would like your photos to be, So I don't know, I might end up... I'm trying to think of the photos that I've taken today of the children and what photos I actually would want to use. So maybe if that goes down like that. I'm not sure that's the right colour, you know. I'm wondering if Grapefruit Grove would be a better colour. Oh, that's too orange. But Grapefruit Grove. That's Calypso, isn't it? Oh, forget it for now. I really like this print. So I want that to feature somewhere. I kind of don't want to hide it really too much. And then all these pieces, don't throw those away, because these can be used to edge your matting layer. So what I'm going to do is, because this yellow, I'm not happy with it. I want to make it a little bit more grunged up. I'm going to grab the Grapefruit Grove, because that was a colour that I did use, didn't I, in the re-inker. Oh, no, I did have... Where's that stamp set gone? I did have on my desk. She says... Did I put it away? Abstract or artistic expressions. Where did that go? Oh, here it is. This is a good one for grunging. I'll use that one. You know what, I'm going to use it by hand, okay? So this is a technique that you can do. If you haven't got a block to hand, you can just literally use it direct like this. So I want to... I don't want this, like a real solid amount of colour on there, so I'm just doing that. Because that yellow is really off-putting. There we go, that's better. Right, oh my goodness, I can't believe it's 10:30. Right, I think I'm only going to have time to do one layout for you guys today. Right, what I was going to say was use these pieces to glue behind to layer up. Now, oh, I can't remember the name of the lady that I watched. There's a lady who does scrapbooking on YouTube, and she does this a lot, but she uses tissue paper, which is really not tissue. Yeah, it is tissue, like a light vellum. No, it is tissue paper. I think she uses. Must be acid free. And she loves doing this, but I actually quite like doing it with patterned papers because it's a great way to use up your stash, but also frame the edge of your photo. And you can do this with card making as well. If you've watched some of my making cards from scraps videos, which seem quite popular, then you will have seen me do this trick. So you basically just pop a bit of glue on the back there like that, and add a piece to it like that. So this is a great way to use up all these scrappy bits that you thought, oh, that didn't work. Use these bits up now, you see. So again, remember to fold. And the great thing about this is just it looks effortlessly arty, doesn't it? Looks like you know, you really planned it, but you kind of didn't. You just play and enjoy the surprise, you know, what might happen. So who's still here? Who's still watching? Bless you all for sticking with me. It is nice sometimes working with a larger canvas like a 12 by 12. You know, I get so used to working, you know, basically a sixth of this size that we tend to work small. So it's fun to do a piece of work that is bigger to allow for breathing space and also for some bigger, bolder patterns to show through. The other thing to remember about all this playing is that it's all archival, so it's all, you know, acid free. You know, the paint and the inks and everything, so it's all good. Right, so I'm thinking to bring in this stamp again. Just stamp some bits. Actually, I'm going to put it on a block now, I think, because I don't want those edges to halo. But I'm not pushing down too hard. I don't mind if some bits don't get stamped. And look, I've even got cardstock under there, so it's not, I don't want it to be perfect. I just want some more colour. I might even bring some yellow in a minute. Oh, it just so happens to have yellow on my desk. That's good. Among lots of other things on my desk right now. I know this doesn't fit properly, but I can't be bothered to find another one, so Now I'm trying to think. Oh, there's some word. Ooh, got these glittery bits and bobs that I could use. They almost look like seaweed, don't they? I could use these amongst my page. Some bold pieces as well. Oh, for some reason a tablet went off. I'm just going to see if I can get YouTube back again so I can read comments. That's fun, isn't it? Right, I did have those laser pieces that, here they are. Now I'm thinking of bringing in some of this greeny colour. Hi Vicky, just seen you come in. I want some of this texture here, so I'm just gonna, I don't want these sharp edges, so I'm just gonna tear this off. That come underneath. Tear that down. Like that. Can you guys see that okay? Oh, I forgot about these. Let's start sticking some of these pieces on so it's easier to move them around. Oh, excuse me. I'm wondering whether to keep this for the other page because I can't fit that in somewhere anywhere. Right. Ooh. Put that behind that one. Right, I'm going to go ahead and stick this down. Ooh, some thread. Just thing. Goodness my system for holding my camera up is a little bit precarious, so sorry if it keeps rocking. This is in the I could use some of these labels as well if I grunge these up a bit. So this is from a little kit in the annual catalogue. It's just this really cute box with some little trinkets and bits and bobs in it. But I could use that as a journaling panel, couldn't I? I don't even know what colour's on here. I don't want it too stark. I'm just going to put some colour onto there. But I've got lots of thread in here. It's nice to do some real messy. It's not really stiff. This it's quite soft. I'll keep it. Okay, no, that's not going to work. I think this would be better, just looping it. Okay, so I'm looping it in this area here because I'm going to stick this label on there. Actually, I'm going to stick a different label on. I'm going to stick this one here because I will stick that one, I'll do some journaling on there and then stick it on at another time, but I want to stick something down to hold down all the thread. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Come, come, come. and the thread is too soft to do that kind of loopy around your fingers thing. So I'm having to do it this way. Who knew, eh? Who knew that thread could be the wrong kind of whatever. Right, I'm going to stick that there. And I'm deliberately not kind of coming too far over onto the photo mats because I want to be able to get my photos in there. Right, I'm sticking this down really firmly. And you know, this is great because it doesn't matter that I'm getting marks on this because that is going to go over the top afterwards. So let's just, is that stuck? I think it's stuck. I'll put another squirt of glue just under there. In case it had any doubts as to whether or not it needs to be stuck. Is that thread? I'll just stuff some thread under there as well. Now I'm very tempted to cut out some little, I don't know, something like little flowers or something just to put around here. And because we've got all these lovely kind of colours, you know, that we've played with, I could cut them out of these little pieces, couldn't I? All these little scrappy bits that I haven't used. That I haven't used yet. Doesn't mean I won't use them. Hi Karen from Texas. Oh, right. Right. Let's cut some of these out. Try to put the different colours in different places. I don't want it all to be in one place. So even all these little pieces that I just was like, oh no, don't like that. These are coming in handy now because they're just a bit of texture that look great on these little flowers. Now it used to be on YouTube that if I did something like this, I could then go onto YouTube editor and I would be able to do a fast forwarded, like a really speeded up version. But YouTube have changed their editing facilities now. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to think, if I want to do this as a sped up video, I'm going to have to download the video and then play with it and then re-upload it, I think. But if anyone knows any different, please let me know. No one knows how to do that sort of thing. Because I don't imagine people want to watch all this right from the beginning, all the way through. Right, let's get these flowers stuck down now. I've been quite generous with the Tombow because some of the flowers are being stuck to quite textured areas. So I'm putting a good blob of it on. I think I probably should go back and just hold these down for a few seconds just to let the glue really soak in, because I don't feel that it is. Okay. Right, I think I've got just the little embellishments to go in the middle of those flowers. These are some retired embellishments from last year. Oh, I do have these. No, I think they'd be too thick. I don't want those. Oh, I don't want it to be too thick either, so... This just adds a little bit of extra sparkle, these are kind of epoxy stickers, and I must confess, I think probably when I first saw these in the catalogue, I was like, ooh, they're a little bit pricey. Why would I want those? And then I can't remember how I ended up with the packet, and I was like, oh my goodness, these are beautiful. And they just do add that a little bit of final flurry, as it were, to a piece of work. And you know, you don't use a whole packet in one go, in one project, so you know, they are good value. I mean, obviously with this layout I'm using quite a few, but typically on the card you wouldn't use too many. I'm using the lighter ones, so if you've got any of these left over from last year, oh my goodness, please use them, they are so beautiful. Don't just stash them away, and they want to be loved. Bring them out, use them in your projects. Right, so let's pop that back on there. Right, I think this is going to be it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because I've been on here for quite a while now. Nearly 2 hours to be precise. So, what a lovely end to a bank holiday in the UK. I've made a layout using all the inks and printing and things that I did earlier, and so these are then going to have photographs on them. I don't think there's much more I want to do to it. I might decide to do something more another time, but I don't think I want to do anything more to it. And maybe I'll come back another day and finish off the second layout with all these. I'll probably put all these bits and bobs into one bag, ready for me to complete this one. And I like that doing it this way means that I'm going to have two layouts that are different, but actually are going to have some similarities, because you know, I've got this one that's got this print here, then I've got this that I can use, and then I can use that on there perhaps. And I've still got that lovely print with the leaves in, and that will just then echo the shapes I've done on here. So this is a really fun way to create some layouts and some art. You know, I really do encourage you to have a go if you're unsure of having a go at this. And you know, what's happened, I've just got a bit of inky hands. I've got some inky papers, but some also really beautiful layout that I could no way have planned. Not in a million years. I could not have planned this, but just by trusting the process and enjoying it, you know, this kind of happens. So you know, and I wish you could actually see this in real life, because all the textures and all this is really fun. And yeah, the textures of paint and everything is really, really lovely. Right, thank you so much for joining me, guys. Toothpaste will help remove the ink from my hands, thank you. Yeah, I'll go and give them a good scrub. It comes off eventually. I'm not too worried. Yeah, thank you. So thank you for your company, particularly Jenny and Janice, and who else have been commenting. So hi Karen, Angie, Bev was on earlier. Don't know if she's still with me, but if you stuck it out to the end, well done. And if you've watched this on the replay and stuck it out to the end, oh my goodness, you deserve a medal. So yeah, please, if this is the first time to my blog, YouTube channel, then do subscribe. And I've got loads of other types of videos on here. Nothing quite like this one. But if you do have enjoyed it, and it's something you'd like to see more, then let me know, because it's rather fun. So there we go. Yeah, Vicky, you did get to see the end of it. Yeah, you got to see the results. But yeah, if you watched in a few minutes, probably the whole video will be available, and you'll be able to watch how I got to this point. Oh my goodness, I'm ready for my bed. So lovely to see you all. Take care for now. Bye.